Cooking with Jag. With the holiday seasons coming up, I thought I would prepare a special dish for you. It is pumpkin ravioli. Not only is ravioli a great appetizer, but it makes a great main entree to your wonderful holiday dinners. We are going to be using spaghetti squash today. Both winter and summer squashes are high in nutrients, like vitamin C, vitamin A, folic, and potassium. They are high in fiber, which promotes regularity, blood sugar stability, weight loss, and cardiovascular health by lowering blood pressure and cholesterol levels. In men's health, it helps reduce the symptoms of enlarged prostates, which can cause urinary and sexual problems. Overall, it is a great weight loss tool. It is tasty, bulky, and low in calories.
You will need 3½ cups flour, 3 eggs, and some salt. Incorporate that well and add enough water to make a firm dough.
Once you've made your pasta dough, we're going to make 2 balls. Just put it on a plate with some dusting of flour. We'll cover it with a clean cloth and we'll set it aside till we make the filling for the ravioli. For the ravioli filling, we have a half a spaghetti squash baked and scooped, 1 medium onion diced, some basil pesto, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 garlic cloves minced, a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, and 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to make the ravioli filling. In a heated skillet, we're going to throw the 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 cloves of garlic, and the onion. We're going to saute for about a minute or so. You've got your setting on high, so you want to keep an eye on it. There's just great smells and aromas coming from this pan. Then we are going to add your cooked spaghetti squash. And incorporate that with the onions and the garlic. Now if you notice in most of my recipes I don't add salt. I kind of leave that up to your discretion. This is a very low calorie, high protein, high fiber dish. Now we are going to add the basil pesto. You want to make sure you get all that pesto out of there. And we're also going to add
the pine nuts.
I love having pumpkin ravioli around Christmas time. It just brings back really great memories for myself and my children and the people that have joined us and shared this great dinner. So you incorporate that well and make sure it's stirred up. Now we're going to turn the stove off and let that slightly cool. For me, I always have ghee around. I always have a big jar of ghee around, so I'm just going to put a little bit of ghee on top of this while it cools down. Ghee is basically clarified butter, and it just adds delicious flavor to foods. Give a cup of Parmesan cheese. Just mix that cheese in there really well, and we're going to set that aside and let it cool. Ravioli filling is cooling down slightly. We're going to go and roll our dough out. So I have some extra flour for dusting, and we have made the pasta dough. We've broken it up into 2 balls. So now I'm going to sprinkle this and roll out the first part of the dough, and we'll just move that aside until we're ready for the second part. So I am using whole wheat flour, which is high in fiber and proteins. So we're just going to roll that out once we've pat it out. I'm going to try to get it as even as you possibly can. So you want to roll this as thin as you possibly can, and I don't have a fancy ravioli maker, so I'm going to show you what I do. Now we have your rolled out dough. I have an empty plate here that I'm going to sprinkle with some flour for the finished ravioli. I have a little bowl of warm water to dip my fingers in, and I'm going to start making some ravioli. So I'm going to stretch this out. And I'm going to start putting about a teaspoon of the filling. So you can just make about 5 of those. And you can put as much filling as you really want in there. I mean, it doesn't matter, but if you overfill, it becomes too messy after a while. And this is my easy way of doing it. I just roll it over like this. And I make sure that I pat it down. And then I just cut along the line here. Cut it lengthwise like this, and then like this. Then I grab each little piece of ravioli. Excess dough, you can just cut it out and make a little mini ravioli after. But then I pat down the filling and I take each ravioli like this, and I just squeeze it together so that the filling stays inside of it, and I'm just going to do that again. And you just continue doing that until all the filling and all the dough is used up. Spaghetti pot filled with water, bring that to a boil. Now we're ready to drop the ravioli into the hot water. Once you've brought your water to a boil, this is very important, you turn your element down so the water is just gently rolling. You don't want it at a rapid boil, because if any of the raviolis break open during the cooking process, they'll be all in your pan. So this way it keeps it cooking gently. So one by one you just drop the ravioli in there. The ravioli is done, it will float to the top. You'll want to stir this occasionally during the cooking process. The ravioli is cooked. I take it out of the boiling water with a slotted spoon and put it into a dish greased with ghee. Once I take the ravioli out of the boiling water, I like to put it in 2 separate baking dishes so I can use 2 sauces. I've preheated my oven to 350. So we're going to sprinkle about a teaspoon or so of ghee over top of the ravioli. And on this one here, I'm going to put some tomato sauce. Sprinkle that with a little bit of cheese. On this one here, I have a garlic herb sauce that I'm going to put over top. So you get 2 totally different flavors from the one batch of ravioli if you'd like. And I'll sprinkle that with some cheese. Cover them both with foil and pop them in the oven. Delicious pumpkin ravioli with 2 types of sauce. Buon appetito!